am strong enough to be alone. God has a plan for me, this is I know. Holding the faith, have to be strong. Gave me this blessing to call for my own. I won't let him down, nothing can break me down. It all builds me up, it gives me strength to succeed. In this cold, cold world, nothing can break me down. It all builds me up, it gives me strength to succeed. It gives me strength to succeed. Cold, cold in this cold, cold world, bad things will happen, they will help us grow. Sometimes you have to just go with the flow. Good things will happen if you take it slow. Life is a mystery, watch for the glow. Life is the test just to see if you succeed. I have to provide for me and my seed. Destiny's calling me, won't let him down. They won't take my crown. Nothing can break me down. It only builds me up. It gives me strength to succeed. In this cold, cold world, nothing can break me down. It only builds me up. It gives me strength to succeed. In this cold, cold world, choices that we make can lead us astray. Pray to the Lord to take my pain away. Have to stay focused and fend for my seed. It's up to me to provide what he needs. Everything happens according to plan. Can't leave my destiny up to man. Trust in the Most High and you will succeed. And be who you be. Nothing can break me down. It all builds me. It all builds me. It gives me strength to succeed. In this cold, cold world, in this cold, cold world, nothing can break me down. Nothing can break me down. It all builds me. It all builds me. It gives me strength to succeed. Oh yeah, cold, cold world. In this cold, cold world. Oh whoa, 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 baby. Hey, hey, yeah, hey. Nothing can break me. Nothing can break it down. Break me. Nothing can break it down. Oh no, no. Yes, Petra.
Wow! That was something.
Honored to be here.
Unbelievable. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Guys, shout out to birthday girl Petra Grant for that amazing. Like, that was
Thank
fantastic.
you.
What
I
a
appreciate it.
voice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much for joining our Thursday evening space with Anything Goes with Morella and Julia. We're back at it tonight, and we have a fantastic lineup. Over at the far end, we've got my daughter and co-host Julia Scalise.
Isn't he lovely? I'm just joking. Hi, Julia. Nice to meet you.
Isn't he lovely?
We got a whole row of singers here tonight. I know you guys are thinking I'm sitting at the end, so I'm singing, but not really. But I'm just
She's
saying.
actually going to be standing up and dancing. Hit it, Joseph.
Oh my God, no! And if anybody can see my butt on the side here, I apologize in advance. But we also have
3 million viewers.
There you go.
Exactly. Viral now. Viral.
Thank you. We also have Mike Pickett, the one and only.
Yes. And
Yes.
thank you for having me on the show. And that was amazing. Wow, what talent!
Fantastic.
That was
honestly.
that was incredible. I know to most people I come across as like the sort of small town country listening guy, but that's probably some of the best reggae I've heard in a while. It was really nice. It was really like your voice is just incredible.
I
I'm a big
appreciate
music
it.
fan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
No, thank you.
So thank you. We also have Gordon Melville. How are you doing?
Excellent.
Very good. And of
to be
course,
here.
as I mentioned, Petra Grant, I'm telling you guys, we're so excited because our platform always, as you guys know, really fuse music and dance with comedy and conversation and community. And it's no coincidence that we have the guests that we do because, you know what, it just makes everybody feel, I think, so much better.
We're
Right?
like AGT without a censor. It's like all sorts of things come on one stage.
Isn't it true?
Yes,
That's
good.
very,
All right,
very true.
then you think
Collaboration.
okay.
No Simon.
What I really thought about your singing was you were fantastic. It's definitely a yes for me, darling.
Oh my God, that was good.
I like that.
my god.
That was
There's a
good.
British
Nice.
accent in there as
Sounds not
well.
that nice.
I like that.
That was right on. I have to
Wait,
tell you.
we need like a buzzer.
no, we do. Do
Like
we?
a,
The
you know
golden
what?
buzzer?
I'm just gonna say, I don't like comedians. I love comedians. It's the buzzer.
It's such a dramatic effect.
It's
And
like,
what's-
and then it's like slow motion. It's like.
Or you need Howie. You need Howie just with his bald head and like you are the. Oh my gosh! How people don't think you are a miracle? You are a miracle. You're the greatest miracle on this earth, and people are gonna know your name tomorrow. Boom!
Wow. We could just do that on the show. Like every week, we could do like a segment. What's that guy on? It's the X Factor when he goes, "It's a yes for me." Well, who's that guy? Can't remember his name.
X Factor.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
he's always sitting at the end, and he's just so. He's just,
Well, which season?
well,
They're
he was on a
different
few
every season,
seasons,
right?
Yeah.
and he's always like, "It's a yes for me."
Wait, is it the one with like the really chiseled eyebrows and he wears like a tall hat? Is it that one?
No.
Okay, never mind.
No,
I don't know what you're talking
it's
about.
Britain. It's the Britain. I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. But my point is, you guys are really, really good. I think we need to do a segment. I have to tell you guys right off the bat. Next Friday night, so Petra's going to give you this, but next Friday night, October the 11th, my very dear friend and Petra's dear friend, Aya Grade, and Petra and company are going to be hosting and performing at Fusion Lounge, I believe.
Yes.
It's
Ooh.
called
Yes.
Libra Bash, and there's a ton of artists that are going to be coming
Yes.
together. So if you, and Aya Grade was a guest on Anything Goes a few months back, and you've heard Petra, you've heard him, and there's going to be so many people. Julia and I are going to be there. So if you guys are interested, Petra, you'll put the all the details on the thread of the show.
Yes, I definitely will. The event's called We Do It. It's going to be happening 880 Ellesmere Road, Fusion Lounge. It's going to be amazing. We're bringing back a whole retro sound with the reggae because most of these events you go to, they have like tracks. We're going to have live band performances.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it's going to be definitely an amazing night. you
That's
know?
going to be
We can
so
call Libras.
Exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah.
so good, right? So if you guys want to come out next Friday night, I've been posting as well, but also go to Petra's page. And I want to start off also just by saying that Mike, Gordon, and Petra are on Instagram. They're on Facebook. They're very, very active. If you haven't connected with them, you need to. It will be life-changing. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. Would you say it's life-changing? Knowing you
Absolutely.
guys?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Soul shattering.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Tonight's, we always, like I always say this, we always kind of go with the flow, but getting to know the three of you, obviously, I really wanted to highlight the fact that there is so much conversation about women empowering women, which is really good. It's fantastic. But I also wanted to bring to light how men are empowering other men, as well as men empowering women. Oh, is that sure? We might have to.
Yeah,
Yes.
trying
So we're just going to lower the volume just for a tad here. But
We have
no,
our effects.
but women, men empowering men, and I know you guys do a lot, and you have like a lot of powerful missions. We're going to talk about that. Also, men empowering other women, and I think it's fantastic because it really is a community. And then, of course, the whole spirit of music, just empowering everybody.
Yeah, people
know
should
what I mean?
people should never take away from how much music can empower you. How much music can move you. There's so much of it, right? And there's just so much you can get. Like some people have written, I mean, probably one of the greatest lyrics written in music history: "Emancipate yourself from mental slavery."
Right. Right.
Yeah,
What does
exactly.
what does that say to you when you hear
You're
that? You hear
just,
the like,
you're
what
just
does it
slave to your thoughts.
Right.
Your
Right.
thoughts are like it's just all these things somebody else said or you said to yourself or stuff that just holds you down and ties you up and makes you its slave, really. And
And it's actually a good segue. We're going to get to the comments. Obviously, Julia, feel free to do shout outs for those. And I'm going to be checking the comments as well as we do throughout the show. My very, very good friend, I want to give a shout out to Victoria Lorian Fabish. She's absolutely lovely, and she is our resident psychotherapist on this show. She had Mike on her Courageous Conversations yesterday morning. And I want to bring light to this because one of the things that I saw in the caption and that you talked about was that the most toxic person in your life at one point was yourself.
yeah, it
and
was
I
the
thought
most
that was
toxic
very-
relationship I've ever been in.
You know, and I thought that was very interesting because we talk about toxic people in our lives. We talk about toxic situations, toxic environments. I want to ask each one of you, what experience? So in your case, Mike, I know you said like you were kind of like your own worst enemy, but this is for each of you. Talk about a time in your life where you did feel that you were in a toxic situation, what, as much or as little as you want to share, but what did that experience teach you, and how did it help you propel to where you are right now in your life? So over to you first, Mike, since you already did this with Victoria yesterday morning.
Wow.
It's such
It's
an
such
easy
a-
question.
Yeah. Wow. There
Second
we
time
go.
around.
The hot
Just dropping
seat.
the deep end. Go.
Anything goes, and I'm going. All right.
Do you need a distraction?
Yes. Quick.
There was a
Live
herd
music.
of cows going live.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so again, interlude.
No.
That's the go-to.
It's just that I came to a point in my life where, and I think a lot of people can relate to this. I'd broken up with a woman I was in love with at the time, and I don't mean to cheapen this, but what I thought was love. And then I was sort of alone a couple days later, sitting in this room and just sitting on my bed and coming to the understanding that I had dated or been involved or married to the same woman since I started dating. Like, they're all different names and different bodies and different hair colors and different last names and first names and stuff. But I essentially just kept dating the same woman. And it always ended, surprise, surprise, the same way. So I was like, well, why is this happening? And through some discovery and self-reflection and some different things, this journey I went on to fall madly, deeply in love with myself, I sort of finally understood that this is the woman that I've always been attracted to. And the reason I'm attracted to that woman is because of how I feel about myself. It's not how I feel about them. It's how I feel about myself.
Right.
I know so many people who are like, they're the givers, right? The nice people who are like, oh, I'll be there for you anytime. And they'll wake up in the middle of the night and drive to get you from somewhere or do anything for you, lend you money or blah, 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 blah. And they're just givers in life, and they just give. And that's a beautiful thing on some levels, but on certain levels, it's if I take all the love that God and the universe has put in my heart and I just pull it all out and put it in that person, well, if that person walks away or breaks up with me or whatever, then I'm crushed.
Right.
But if I keep all that and develop it and have this incredible sense of an understanding of how beautiful and amazing and wonderful I am, then the love, there's this love wave that generates out, and then it's not in the other person. My wife, who is without a doubt, beyond any shadow of a doubt, my soulmate, she's the woman God put us on the planet for each other, and I have no doubt about that. And we both understand that if we broke up, we'd both be fine.
Wow, that's very, and you know what, that's very powerful. This is a really good segue, if I may, okay? So hold that thought, because what you've actually talked about so many different things in just a matter of 5 minutes. Like, you really have so many different layers. And I want to share, and I want to get to the comments in a minute, but I want to thank you for saying it the way you did and for being open and honest about what you've said. And I'll tell you why. Julia and I often talk almost weekly, whether it be a whole entire segment on this or 3 minutes, it doesn't matter, about dating and relationships, modern dating as it was, dating as it is now. Is anyone really dating anymore? That kind of thing. And it took me a while at my age, so I can imagine younger folks than me, like kids, my kids' age, trying to figure out this thing, the dating thing, right? And I met someone a while back, and I'm glad that I wish I had met him sooner to kind of put this into perspective for me, because I went through a series of, I don't get it, right? I don't get it. Is it me? Must be me. I don't freaking get it. But so what happened is that he said that he really liked me. He said that he really liked spending time with me. But then all of a sudden, just kind of disappeared. So I'm like questioning, how does someone act like this? This doesn't seem like normal. There's no courtesy. What is going on? Blah, blah, blah. When he came back into my life, like we actually crossed paths at some point later on to have a conversation. You know what he said to me? First of all, he apologized for not having the kahuna to tell me this earlier.
The kahuna.
Is that a word? It is, right? It's kind of a, okay, whatever.
The
But you know.
kahuna. I know
what you mean.
Yeah, you know.
The
Or
kahuna.
two
The
or
kahuna.
5. But anyway, he apologized for not being open and honest with me earlier because he wasn't open and honest with himself. Okay. But he apologized to me and said that he was not in any way, in any capacity, ready to date or have a relationship, even though he thought he was. So by him realizing this, he realized he was not being fair to any woman that he was meeting, right? And when I said, no apologies necessary, but thank you very much for telling me. I really appreciate this because I was wondering why you disappeared. And he said it had nothing to do with you. But you know what he said to me, which was very enlightening? He said, I was broken and I wasn't aware until I was aware. And then when I became aware, I knew I had to fix myself to become whole again. So he said, if I'm not whole, how can I be whole for someone else?
Yeah.
Right? And that's a big, testament to be able to express
It
to
is.
someone, right? So I appreciated that.
Do you know what meme always makes me laugh? Always. That one that's like that super romantic one that says, I wish I'd met you sooner because then I could have
Oh
loved
my
you longer.
God.
Right.
Yeah.
My wife and I laugh at that and you'll, well, anything goes. It's bullshit.
See,
Anything goes.
you want.
Yeah. It's such epic bullshit. My wife and I met when I was 44. And I met her exactly when I was supposed to meet her.
Right.
If I had met her when I was 20, that relationship would have fallen apart because I was that old Mike.
Right.
I had to get to the stage where God was like, okay, you're ready, Mike, and Heather, you're ready.
Right.
Let's put you two together and get this started.
Okay, so we're going to get to the comments. And then before we get to
Yep.
Gordon, I want to ask you a question. What word, so you can think about this for a minute. What word described the old Mike? And what word describes the new Mike? Okay, I'll get back to you in just a
Okay.
second. So Julia Scalise is watching.
I have no idea who that is.
Renato, hi Renato, how are you? Great to see you. Renato
from
says,
every
"Nice
time."
voice, Petra."
thank you.
Gordon is watching. Nice of you to tune in,
no
Gordon.
problem, no
Thank you. Mike Pickett is watching as well. Awesome. Ryan Radin, how are you, Ryan? Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for your comments last week. We weren't able to get there were so many wonderful comments.
see
We
all
were
of them.
honestly not able to get to them all because we had such fantastic conversation. We were a little bit short for time. Good news tonight, though, is we don't necessarily have a time limit because anything goes on this show. Ryan, thank you so much for tuning in. Andrew Cordero is watching. Hey, Andrew, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. Joe is watching. Hey, Joe, how you doing? Thank you so much for
Thank you,
tuning in.
Joseph.
Joe says you are all awesome. These are all fabulous, fabulous people. Oh, yeah, so a shout out to our Frequency 5 FM team, Maria and Joseph. Let's
Who I was
applause,
pointing
applause.
Yes.
Yes.
From our live studio audience in Los Angeles, California.
What a great audience we have.
I see you, sir.
And-
Joe
Put it
says,
down.
it says, Gord, you need to show your gree and share the story. GRI. Joe, can you just elaborate on
Mike,
that?
where is the cape and the superhero shirt?
Oh yeah, Mike.
From Joe.
Well, here's the Hero Mission logo.
Love it.
And I have no need for a cape right now. I can go out to the truck and get one, but I'm just saying,
Have
like,
one in the
you,
truck?
Phone booth in
I've
the
got
room.
capes all the time.
One for
You never
every
know.
occasion.
You never
You just
know.
never know.
I'm in the
Need a
car.
superhero.
Anyways, but I am repping the superhero gear with my Captain Marvel hat.
I
I
love
love
it.
it.
I
I
like
saw
it.
it.
I like
Shazam.
Absolutely love it.
The original Captain Marvel, for the record. Anyways,
The
I'm not-
original.
yep.
The original.
Hey, here's some interesting geeky trivia just to throw out because anything goes. Captain Marvel, Shazam, as people call him nowadays, the first superhero on the big screen.
Was he?
1941, a black and white serial that was shown at local movie theaters.
Okay, I did not know that.
Trivia.
Wow.
Let's see
There
that.
you go.
The
very
more
good.
you know.
Here's another
You're gonna be on
question.
the second
Okay, I'm
chorus
giving these
now.
people, these lovely people, all these lead-ins to let them know. So remember, each one of you are going to answer the word to describe the old you. Not that you're old, but word to describe the previous you, and then the word to describe you now. And then, of course, I'm also going to ask you what superhero best describes each one of you and why. Okay, we will continue. Christine Grauer is watching. Hi, lovely. How are you? Carolyn Westlake is watching. Hi, Carolyn. How you doing? Christine says, hey, you beautiful people. She's wonderful. Oh, Julia says, hey, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. James Leach is watching. Hey, James, how are you? He says, good evening. I hope you are doing well. Lucy Dematos, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Lucy is watching. I met her last week at Victoria's Stop Dimming Your Light workshop. She's a gem. She says, good evening. Stacy King, which is also Stacy Walcott now. Are you proud of me? I remembered that, Stacy. How are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. Christine says, thanks for your emotional honesty, Mike. So aware and real. Absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed. Doris, lovely Doris says, good evening, beautiful people. Aziz is watching. Hey, Aziz.
Hey,
Julia and I
Aziz.
met Aziz at the Fearless Voices event this past Monday night in person. And you know how nice it is when you have your viewers who tune into the show and then you meet them in person? It's
yeah,
so
it's
nice.
so
Like,
nice.
it's really nice. Thank you so much. How are you, Aziz? James says, hi, Julia, Marella, and guests. We've got so many. Aziz says, I'm doing great. Lucy says, that's really rare nowadays. And I think she's talking about the being real and vulnerable, right? And I absolutely agree. But it's so refreshing. Aya Great is watching. Hey, Aya, how are you? We just did a plug for your event next Friday night. And we've actually been mentioning it. Yeah, for a few weeks. Julia and I are looking forward to coming.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be great. So many artists from all over the
Give
place.
thanks
so
in the
many
morning.
artists, like-
Go.
I don't know. Sorry, I don't know the rest of the lyrics. I know that part because that's the part I sang.
Yeah, that was great. He said Aya did a song called "Give Thanks." He actually sang it here. It's just, you know, when you talk about just like really great music and lyrics and tunes that kind of speak to you, and this kind of music and music out there nowadays that speak to me is the one that really talks about like the human spirit and loving one another. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
and-
really nice.
And that's something going to be amazing at the event because it's going to be talking about that love in its purest form. I definitely want to big up I Agree Media Productions, Cut and Clean Music Productions as well, Prince Zimbo, Empress Divine, Wizard Band, Lionheart Band. There's so many different artists that are going to be there representing.
So many,
you know?
lots.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. We're going to get to meet a few new folks. Aziz says it was difficult to join the show today. I don't know why. Oh, well, it's probably because we didn't start till around 8:10 or 8:15. So you're good. You're good. And Aya says greetings. Ryan says sometimes we keep dating the same person in a different body because we may be trying to validate ourselves through them due to the hurt caused by someone close to us. Once we identify the root of the hurt, we can begin the process of healing and break the cycle of dating the same person in a different body. And sometimes the person keeps coming into our lives because they help us learn from our mistakes in order to become better. That is profound, very deep, and I
Damn,
think
well said.
very true, right?
shit, no, I didn't
Ryan,
do
thank
that.
you so much for that. Excuse me.
Love.
Kim Wilson is watching. We all know Kim Wilson. How
Hello,
are you,
hello,
Kim?
hello.
Lovely. Great to see you on here. Ramsey is watching. Hey, Ramsey. Thank you so much for tuning
Hey,
in.
Ram Jam.
Don Callahan says, hey, hey, hey. Kim says, hey, with the kissy emojis. Ramsey says, I feel the superhero that describes me is the Hulk.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Watch out for Ramsey. I'm telling you right now. Lydia Melfara is watching. Hey, Lydia, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. I wonder who this is. Janessa Melville.
No idea.
Wow, I'm just watching here with Isaac.
That's my youngest.
Oh, so
Aw.
thank you so much. Aya says, lovely show. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's get to it. So we go back to Mike. Word to describe before and after.
Word to describe me before and after?
Yes.
What's one word that describes me before and one word that describes me after?
Yes.
Let me think.
I gave you 10 minutes.
I know, but you started talking about
I
we're
know,
dancing
sorry.
down here. You guys talking about all great music going on. They were
What
like
we
looking at
came
people's
up with.
comments and
We should show them our choreography.
Okay, how about if I start it? How about if I start it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like
Right,
coordination
right.
together.
Give us
Right.
a roll. Give us a roll. Here we
Right.
go.
Okay, I'm gonna start it. And we're gonna go this way, and then this gives you an extra 3
all right.
minutes.
I appreciate that. That's
The word did-
Wow,
the
wisdom
word-
of Solomon is not flowing through my brain right now.
The word.
You
that-
know what it is? It's that coffee. I don't know how they make coffee up at the front here. Whoever got me
strong?
that. I see colors and I hear colors.
Maybe it
and-
wasn't coffee. Maybe it wasn't coffee.
I just saw
You
that
made that
comment,
coffee.
and it makes me laugh because it's true. Barbara says, "Hey Gord, are you wearing your shorts?" Because you are.
Ah,
She
he,
knows you.
he actually is wearing his shorts,
Well,
right?
yeah. Well,
Okay, so the word
I'm just
that
pantless.
I don't always.
you're pantless.
Anything goes.
Wow. Okay.
You know.
Not wearing pants, guys.
Anybody
so
wants to get up and dance? I'm just saying.
one like equals one prayer for the people sitting beside him.
Okay, the word that I would say described the previous me, I would say conflicted. Okay? The word that describes me today is assured.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Get that? Tantra? How about you?
On the spot. I say the first word to describe me, I say would be young, because there's a lot of things I didn't really
Yes.
know about. It's a bit naive in certain areas. But after going through my journey, as you can hear through my song, it talked about a certain period in my life.
Yes.
Had a certain period in my life that I went through some ups and downs. Now I totally feel empowered because the things you go through are not meant to break you, they're meant to build you.
I love that.
Take it
I
to the next
absolutely
level.
love that. You know what? I love that because it's an evolution of growth, right? As you're younger and you're going through experiences and then you get to this point and you're learning and you've learned from everything you've gone through.
Exactly. Still
Right.
learning. It's a process.
It's a process. I like
Yeah.
that, still learning. I think we're never too old or too young to learn, right?
Yeah.
Gord, how about you?
Pre would be, I would say blind.
Okay.
Post would be woke.
Whoa. Very deep.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get to why you chose those words in a second.
problem.
Mike, I bought you an extra 4 minutes.
That 4 minutes was amazing. So I'm gonna go.
Sorry, I had to.
Yeah. 4 minutes is sometimes all you need.
So
to
they
save
say.
the world.
4 minutes to save
just
the
add that
world.
in there.
Okay.
I just saved the world. Broken.
Okay.
Super.
That's awesome. That's amazing, Mike. Thank you. Julia?
Vulnerable for before
Yeah.
and strong now.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
Very good.
like it.
Very good.
Oh my God, guys.
I know. Guys, I'm not sure what camera to watch here, so I'm going to look at them all, and
Wouldn't it-
hopefully no one's looking at my butt.
This might have been the
sitting here
most-
At the end.
Actually, wait, it's a good view. You can
Turn to the
stand up
side.
and give us a dance.
No, I'm good.
You're gonna.
I'm good.
But look, it's a don't you agree? It's a
perfect.
perfect. It's
Space for it.
perfect. Like
You got
camera
dance
angle.
space.
Get up and dance.
Joseph, you know what to do.
Maybe
Hit it.
Maybe when Petra starts singing.
Put some
no.
Shania on.
No, Shania, we're good. We're good.
What?
Over to you.
Oh.
So
I feel like a woman.
Once it cues, you better get up.
It's our swan song every single week. It just makes it in here, right up there with Julia's favorite heartbreak.
You gotta get up. If you don't get up,
Let's go,
get
girls.
up. Everyone wants to see. Guys, do you guys want to see Marla dance?
Love you.
Yeah, come on.
You can't call the show Anything Goes. Or you got to get up and dance, and we're going to have to show the show will just be called Some Things Go.
It's all gonna go. Like, trust
Mom,
me.
get up. You gotta get up.
No, I'll get up after. Too much pressure right now. Okay, superhero to describe you. I mean, like, there's so many, but which would you say?
So I'm going to
describes
go
you.
with my second favorite superhero, Captain Marvel.
Yes, I get it.
Who's your first favorite?
My dad.
Aww.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
That is so nice.
Let's slow up.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Such a sentimental, fun journey here tonight, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, my dad.
That's
My
nice.
dad, and I talk about it in my book, Invisible Capes, is my origin story. I called it at the front of the book, and it just talks about a story when I was really young that my dad taught me that superheroes do exist.
You know what? That's lovely. And Mike, I have to say, I haven't read your book yet, and I want you afterwards, like all of you afterwards, to obviously give everybody a good sense of some of the stuff that you guys have been, working on and are involved in. But I haven't read it yet. But when I hear the title Invisible Capes, what comes to mind for me is that we all wear them. Like, we all have strengths. We're all superheroes in our own right. We might not be famous, like as in celebrities. We might not be like, in Marvel movies, but we are superheroes in our own right with everything that we're going through. So you might not might not be evident someone's story until you get to know them, right? Until you do see what they've gone through. And that's kind of what that title speaks to me about.
Yeah.
You
That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. It's just, everything I do is just about people have to realize how much, the amount of superhuman potential they have inside themselves.
Yes.
Is so crazy. A friend of mine and I were talking last week, and we're talking about, like, hey, that whole mentality where in a lot of this groups and talks and, just things about like mindset and things like that. And you can do anything, you can be anything, right?
Yes.
And my friend who's maybe not, swallowed the red pill or the blue pill, I can't remember which one it was in the Matrix, but
I think it's the purple one.
yeah, the rainbow pill.
The rainbow.
Well, he was sort of like, well, but not everybody can be like, I couldn't be in the NBA. And I'm like, well, why not? And they're like, well, the chance of that is 1 in a million. And I was like, well, is it that 1 in a million people can pull that off? Or is it that 1 in a million people believe they can pull it off?
Right.
And like 900,000 go, I'll never do that.
I think
Like,
it's
what
the
if everybody played at their whole potential?
Yeah.
Yes.
Would it be 1 in a million?
Right.
Probably not.
And you speaking about mindset there as well. Like, it's this whole, I'm never going to, because it just seems so improbable. But yet people do it. People
Exactly.
do it. One thing I wanted to talk about, I'm going to pass over to Gord, but something that Mike said, and I want both of you guys to address this as well. There's been this stigma associated with, for generations, I think, but I'm not an expert, about men aren't supposed to be vulnerable. Men aren't supposed to show their emotions. Men aren't
Don't
supposed
cry.
to be,
Men
not
don't
supposed to
cry.
cry. They're not supposed to be open about their emotions. They're not supposed to talk about what ails them. They need to be strong, for themselves and for everybody else. And as Mike just did, and Gord, I'm sure you will as well. And as I see from a lot of my connections on social media who they do videos and they write about their vulnerabilities, I honestly, I feel bad that people are going through what they're going through, but I feel like it's so refreshing that men can, I feel, empower each other by saying, you know what, I'm emotional today, and it's okay. So not only are they empowering other men to say, like, you don't have to be something you're not, or you don't have to pretend, but also empowering women at the same time and as a community. So what are your thoughts about this? Because when I think about men really putting themselves out there and showing who they truly are, you guys, I think of you guys. The first time I met you, I thought of that. What have you found with the men that you come across, even yourselves? Do you feel like there's still that stigma? Is it getting better? Do you feel like people are opening up more? Gord, what do you think?
Yes, it's getting better as it's addressed. It's like anything; if you put attention to it and draw attention to it,
Yeah.
it gets looked at, it gets fixed. So I run a bunch of seminars, and my definite major purpose is called 10 million men in 24 months. So my goal and my passion, my mission at the moment is to have a meaningful connection with 10 million men globally in the next 2 years, giving them a message of hope that we all deal with stress and anxiety and depression and all those types of things. But you're right, we were taught, don't show that emotion, don't look vulnerable, you have to be tough. And so we put my seminars are called Boxed Inside Out, because as men we tend to want to put our emotion in a box, and then we put it on the shelf and we don't deal with it.
Yeah.
And then we go and try, because it leaves issues, and we have angst and whatnot. So then we try and do something else. We don't deal with the emotion, but we go and we do drugs, or we drink, or we gamble, or we have all these other vices to try and fix to deal with the issues inside of us.
Because you're suppressing.
Absolutely, we're holding
Right.
it inside.
Right, right.
So when I hold that inside, now I have in my body, I'm not at ease. So I have dis-ease. And as that pushes, I now have dis-ease in
Yep.
my body.
Yep.
So it causes challenges. So I want to give them hope that we will give them some tools, we give them strategies to fix stuff on their own.
Yes.
And then if that doesn't work or they're past that already, then to be able to give them resources globally. So if they happen to be in the UK, they happen to be in Australia, they happen to be in wherever they are.
Yes.
There are agencies and whether it's clinical or natural. So I know some good friends of mine are natural, do some natural type healing.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
to be able to plug in whatever works for you, whatever works for them. But the challenge is to try and get the men. As soon as you say to them, if I say to the ladies, how do you feel? Most of you will tell us,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because they're in
Yes.
touch with that, right?
Yes.
But if I say to a man, how are you? They'll go, yeah, I'm good, regardless of whether they are or not.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
So because we don't want to look vulnerable even to each other. There are good relationships, and in some relationships, what we have a very good relationship.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. Oh, you guys are super close. Like I could
today
tell.
we both
First
cried
time
in
we-
front of each other
Wow.
in a public place. We were in a restaurant, right? So we're able to do that. A lot of
Yes,
guys aren't
yes.
able to do that.
I want to continue this. I think, first of all, the fact that you admitted it is very powerful. The fact that you've acknowledged and talked to one another to help one another is very, very empowering as well, and very brave, right? Because, I was going to say, and again, not an expert here, but when you talk about men who are suppressing and what you're trying to do, what you guys are trying to do together, collectively, individually, and you're saying that men can't, let's say, deal with their feelings, emotions, or what have you, it affects relationships, right? It affects relationships. It will affect perhaps work relationships. Like, and I say this only because there are a lot of, maybe not enough, maybe I'm biased, but maybe not enough women leaders out there, and there should be more. But I know some fantastic male leaders, but I also know a lot of male leaders that have and are going through a lot of stuff. And so what ends up happening is when they're under so much pressure and they're trying to, I got to be strong, I can't be, I'm leading this, I'm married, I'm this and that. What ends up happening is it's self-destructive.
Absolutely.
So it could be something with social relationships, of course, family, work. It's a ripple effect, right?
Yeah.
So you, I know the night that I met you, you were actually talking about an event that you were planning or were about to have. So these men events, are they all over Ontario, or are they in the West End right now?
No, right now
Kitchener?
they're in KW. I'm from
Okay.
Waterloo, so they're in KW. But,
Okay.
I've been asked to do it in Toronto. I've been asked to
Right.
do it in the GTA, and I've been asked to do it in the US. So as that continues to push, and
Yes.
certainly now that we've got the initiative to connect with 10 million men,
Yes.
I'm actively reaching out to men's organizations and other organizations that can connect me, celebrities and people that have a passion for this type of stuff.
That's amazing.
And it's been just bizarre to watch. Once you put that out to the universe that way,
Yes.
and out to Papa, it's amazing how things stuff starts to show up.
And this is all really related, right? I mean, so Mike right off the bat was talking about what you were dealing with, and this whole thing, and how you said that you were your own worst enemy. You explained why, and now Gord is talking about what he's doing with these men. And I just, as an evolution of what you were talking about in terms of relationships, I said that in my experiences, sometimes I find that men don't have the capacity to articulate what they're feeling. Hence, they'd rather, let's say, walk away and not deal with anything than to just say, look, hence my friend who said, I'm really sorry that I just disappeared. I was really shitty. You deserved better. You're an awesome person. I didn't know this at the time, but he had just his divorce had just become final, not like the day before, but recently, like I'd say 6 to 12 months, that he was nowhere near ready to date, even though he thought he was. So instead of dealing with the divorce, whether he wanted it or not, he's like, I'm just going to go out and meet somebody else. That'll take care of everything. It's like that deflection. But in the end, it actually, I think, caused more damage emotionally because he hadn't dealt with it yet. He hadn't he wasn't dealing with it, let alone healing yet. You know?
Yep.
So I know, so that's why I find that what you guys are doing is fascinating and very, really amazing. Sorry, Julia.
Also, no, I
Go
wanted
ahead.
to mention your wrist
Yeah.
with the semicolon,
Semicolon.
and you had a heart on it.
I did. I tend to be heart-centric.
Yeah.
A semicolon is the international sign for suicide survivor. So, and I put it on the inside of my wrist so that when I shake hands with people, if anybody that knows what it is, there's an instant connection. There's instant.
Yeah.
They know it's a safe space. And you're talking about men not wanting or not being able to articulate. And I'm not sure it's even not and necessarily not being able to articulate as much as not wanting to admit it.
Not, yes.
Right. I know
right.
when I didn't tell anybody. The day that happened, I didn't tell anybody. Somebody, and I still say that's Papa showing. I call God Papa because of my relationship with him, but he was showing me something I needed to see in the moment, which was my family, in a picture across the hall from the bathroom. And it took me speaking at Mo Mondays, which was, I'd written an article online about the story, and I'd written it in a book, but I was hiding behind the screen and I was hiding behind the book. As soon as I had to say it out loud in front of my friends and family and work colleagues and whatnot, a bunch of strangers, it became real. And there was a huge weight let off. I felt like something shifted inside me. And what I'm finding is the more I can be vulnerable and embrace that situation, as much as I wouldn't duplicate it or want it to duplicate, if I had to go back or could go back and do it all again, I wouldn't take it out either, because it's giving me an appreciation, and it's equipped me emotionally and uniquely to be able to connect not just with men but with women. So anybody
Right.
that sees that, they connect to that emblem. And again, semicolon, for people that don't know, an author uses a semicolon where they could have put a period,
Yes.
right? So
That's
they
it.
could have ended the sentence. So a semicolon, no, I got more to say. So I could have put a period, I didn't. So I use it as for me, it's not only a metaphor, but it's an equip for going forward. And I think sometimes as men, I know if I'm talking to Mike, I'm in a safe space.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
So we
Yeah.
provide that bubble, that safe environment.
Yeah.
If I don't feel safe in the environment, especially I think as a guy, because we want to do the macho ego thing, and if I don't feel like, if I feel like I'm going to be judged, I don't want to let that out.
Right,
Whether
right.
the person I'm talking to is male or female.
Right.
Right. So if it's going to be thrown back at me, I don't want to do it. So you find it very difficult. Again, it's safe, right? I know if I say something like, there's no judgment.
See, and that's wonderful because we all need a Mike, we all need a Gord, right? We all need a Petra,
We all need a
a
Mike.
Julia.
Yeah.
I want to.
You wouldn't hear anybody without the mic.
But
No, right. No, but I want to.
Wow, that kind of didn't click, and I was like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh, shit!" Oh my God.
I want to continue this. I want to talk about. Have you guys ever had instances where, whether it be on social media or out in an open space environment, where you have been trolled or you have been judged, or someone has come back with negative comments like because you're showing your truth too much, or you're being vulnerable and you've got to man up and all of that, you know, like that kind of, it's kind of interesting. But I only say this because social media is a wonderful space for a lot of great reasons, but it can also be a cruel world.
Yeah, it's funny. my the pastor at our church and I go out and enjoy a couple pints once a week, and we just talk about life and the universe. And he actually opens up to me about stuff he feels like other members of the church might be a little bit
Yes.
old school and judgy on and stuff. So we
Yes.
get a lot out between the two of us. But we were talking about social media, and I was like, well, you know, like Twitter's. If Jesus came back today and went on Twitter and was like, love me and love everyone around you, there'd be like 100 people on that tweet going, you're evil, you're stupid, what a jerk, you're
Yeah.
so full of crap.
Right?
And it'd be
Yeah.
like,
Does it make any sense?
like,
It makes
yeah,
no
you
sense.
could, no matter what you're going to say in this world and what you're going to do in this world, there'll always be somebody. And yeah, and you're going to have haters. You're going to have people who are, the biggest problem with anybody who grows exponentially, if you make yourself better, is two things always happen. And we talked about this on the show yesterday. Is one, any relationship you're in, if one of you changes, that relationship changes.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
just
True.
That's it.
that's just the way it is.
right.
The other thing is, if I, at 48, go out and accomplish these amazing things and have worldwide conferences and do all this stuff and get in the best shape of my life and do all these amazing things and go from nothing to, you know, a bazillionaire, the other person has no fucking excuse left.
Yeah. Yeah.
There, it's the crab bucket. I don't
Yeah.
know if you're familiar with the crab bucket
Yeah.
syndrome. Yeah, like yeah, the crab buckets. You know, the crab tries to get out of the bucket, and the other crabs pull them back down.
You know,
Because it's like we can't see you succeed. Because that means if you get out of the bucket, that means the rest of us have been sitting here for no reason.
and you want to know something? no, but it's true.
Sometimes it's
Yeah.
done by people that
Yeah.
that care about you, though, right? That can be parents, that can be siblings, it can be spouse, it can be girl, right?
Yes, yes.
In the same along the same line, they put a bucket with or a bin with frogs, and they put chicken wire over the top, and they electrify the chicken wire, and the frogs jump and try and get out, and they every time they hit the right.
Right,
So eventually
right.
they stop jumping,
Right.
and then they take the chicken wire away. They stop the electricity. They don't try and jump anymore. They take the chicken wire completely away. They don't jump. Their kids, when they try and jump, the parents pull them back because they go, no, you jump up, you get, there's nothing there. So it puts that, so when we're talking about children, right, I have 3. And so some of my, and they're all boys. So some of that vulnerability that I'm trying to show and teach is something that we're building into other generations who are watching us do some of this
Yes.
and
yes.
perpetuating that problem, right? Which has been
Yes.
down to us, right? And it's not because those frogs are not doing that to their kids because they're trying to be mean to them or hold them back.
They're trying to protect
They're
them.
trying to
Yeah,
protect
exactly.
them.
They're
They're
trying to
doing it
protect
from
them.
a place of care
Right,
and love,
right, yeah.
So understanding, okay, I can do that, but I'm stopping them from getting where they want, right? As a parent, you know, sometimes watching your children do things that you go, that's not that. But if you don't let them do it and you don't let them get zapped once in a while, right? Then they have no. They get
How are
out
they
in the
going to
real-
even
they
have
can't.
the
Yeah.
incentive to get out of the bucket?
Right.
Or even to grow.
Yeah.
Or
They
even
have
to
to
grow.
Yeah.
They have
I
to
want
grow.
to. I
Show
want to
them
get.
both.
I want to get to the viewers. If you guys can relate to the crab bucket syndrome, which you know, or you know, you feel this, or you've experienced this, or you have like, you know, please put it in the comments. We'll definitely get to it. Sorry, I'm looking at all 3. I'm not quite
Yeah.
sure which one to look at. Sorry, 1, 2, 3. But please let us know. You know,
Oh,
because
it's
these
numbered. It's not 2.
2, okay, because these are very important. No, but they're important subjects and what have you. And going back to Mike, you know, where you were saying about the crab bucket syndrome, it's interesting because the way that I look at it is sometimes I'm the crab that's trying to get out but pulling myself down. That was really me before, before like in the last couple of years, I'd say, not really before. Hence my analogy of feeling conflicted earlier, and now I'm more assured. Now I'm at that point where anybody tries to keep me down on that bucket, and I know I'm going to get zapped up there, maybe not. I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
Yeah.
no question asked, right? But sometimes it's, you know, talking about self-sabotage, talking about others trying to sabotage us, but they don't even know that they're sabotaging. It's just a constant sort of turmoil, right? Until we're like, you know what? That's it. I'm jumping out of this bucket. You guys can
Screw
stay
you.
there if
See
you
you
want, or you
later.
can come out of the bucket as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, eventually that feeling takes over you. You just can't hold yourself back anymore. That you have to just break out of the mold.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
get to Petra. I want to get to Petra for sure because oh, don't worry, we got questions for you too. But just going back to Gord for 1 second, just in terms of like the you know, the wonderful stuff that you guys are doing with men and the whole just kind of being true and talking about what you're going through. I think it's awesome. Can women get involved in this movement as well? I think I don't know if I asked you that night at the hub event, but was just curious to know.
They can. Initially, I was only promoting to men.
Yeah.
And then it occurred to me how often my wife has come home and gone, "Hey, Josie and Matt said invited us for dinner on Saturday, so we're going, whether I wanted to or not." And I'm like, no, I don't want to. I don't even know these people. Forget that.
Right.
No, you're gonna go and you're gonna be nice and you're gonna sit and be right, sociable and whatever. So it occurred to me, no, I need to market to women too, because a lot of times where a guy will hold on and may not step out because they're afraid, a woman and a lady or someone that cares about them will go, no, you know what, you need to go and take it, whether they pay for them,
Yes.
whether they push or whatnot. So are there programs? We do have women programs coming.
Yes. That's
and
great.
There's some good stuff happening there too. But my passion has been for, as a suicide survivor, watching the number of people that men or women that resort to that because they don't see anything else. And I as a survivor, I know how I felt, and I knew I didn't know where to go to get help that wouldn't out me, right? And I was afraid of that. I was ashamed and embarrassed I'd gotten to that space. So people go, why don't they just reach out? Well, in the moment, your brain says the world's better without me. My family's better without me. And I know that sounds weird, but in the moment, you don't see anything but that. So you think you're doing them a favor by not being here.
First of all, I want to say it's really easy for people to say, why couldn't they just reach out when they're not in that situation? So you know what? We have to have just a little bit more empathy. Secondly, I just want to say, I'm really glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're all here.
Should we get into a group hug?
No, I'm just saying, I'm
I
glad.
say we
I'm
get
glad. I'm
into a
glad.
group hug.
You know, really, and I want to.
Fine, no
I want to
group
get to
hug.
the comments, but how did it? Okay, we can do a group.
It's not
It's
a-
good. It's like the awkward car
We-
hug.
we-
Can you see how this
Okay.
Nice.
Sorry, my hands are just
is the
sticking.
best I can do? The best I can do. That was so nice.
And Julia and I both want to send a shout out to the if they're watching the last Blockbuster video.
Oh yeah! Shout out to the last Blockbuster.
even
Follow
exist
them on
anymore?
Twitter. There's one Blockbuster left in the world.
Where?
It's somewhere in the United States. I want to road trip it there and rent Charlie's Angels. Yes,
Yes.
Charlie's Angels, because that's all we
Ladies
rented.
independent.
I know.
Okay,
I know.
so on that
It was
note,
just
on
a
that
thing.
note, I've seen 6 requests for you to sing. You go right now.
Blockbuster. I have no idea. I'm just kidding. That's not my
Go. Come
I
on.
can't even sing. I don't know.
You
You
can
can't put me
sing
on the spot
A
like
to
that.
Z. Okay,
I
well-
don't know.
Okay, I'm coming back to you in 35 seconds.
I
So
only, I
pick
only know
something.
one jingle from a company.
Okay, I just want to get
what
to.
was it? Remember 2004 commercial? Freshness with a sin. Plug it in, plug it in.
Oh, I remember that one.
Dun, dun, dun.
Woo, that was good. Another
Yeah.
jingle.
Oh, Rexall Pharma Plus, a pharmacy first. Or Celino and Barnes, injury attorneys. Call 888-8888. Da-na-na-na-na. I know way too many.
How about Alarm Force?
Telling you.
Call 1-800-267-2001. Alarm Voice.
Woo!
Yeah, I like it.
Come
Wow.
on. You see why our viewers want her to sing? She's that good.
I
that's
don't
all-
want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got the best for so much less. You'll really flip your lid from bikes to trains to video games. They're the greatest toy store there is. I don't want to grow
I
up,
don't know
but
the
baby, if I did, I still want to be a Toys R Us kid.
Dun, dun,
Okay, well, since I'm not doing
This
it,
is what
but
happens
Gord,
when you-
I don't sing. I could sing, but the internet would crash. So
well, Patrick's going to sing for us again this evening. The internet would not crash. Come on, this is a loving, safe, non-judgmental zone.
No, we've already decided what's going to crash the internet tonight.
Okay, no. I'm not getting up.
Mark Zuckerberg's going to call you in the morning. You crashed Facebook.
Thank
Mom,
you.
come on, stand up for everybody.
No, not yet. Okay?
I do believe it was a great poet who said her milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
I can go back.
So I heard.
This one's for all you good people out there. Listen.
Remember the first time that we met? Caught your eyes from across the room. I was shy. Then you grabbed my hand and
what I'm talking about when we say about music, how it fuels the soul. It doesn't matter if we're talking about light topics, deep topics, what emotions we're going through. It always makes us feel so much better, right? Yes. Oh, are we singing again? Okay. Are we? Is that we're having some like
Little
language
vibes. Yeah, feel free to
vibes
join
going.
in and dance.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But
Dancers.
no, I think it's.
Oh, yeah. Oh. I wake up in the morning, things seem so hard. Me and my child facing this world. How could this happen? That life is so cold. My father beside him took hold for his own. Mommy and daddy, I have to be both. He left us here to be on our own. Abusing and using it, taking no more. No, I am strong enough to be alone. God has a plan for me, yes, this I know. Holding the faith, have to be strong. Gave me this blessing to call for my own. I won't let him down. Nothing can break me down. It only builds me up. It gives me strength to succeed in this cold, cold world. Nothing can break me down. It only builds me up. It gives me strength to succeed in this cold, cold world. Bad things will happen, they will help us grow. Sometimes you have to just go with the flow. Good things will happen if you take it slow. Life is a mystery, watch for the glow. Life, yes, it is just to see if you succeed. I have to provide for me and my seed. Destiny's calling me, won't let him down. They won't take my crown. Nothing can break me down. It only builds me up. It gives me strength to succeed in this cold, cold world. Nothing can break me down. It only builds me up. It gives me strength to succeed in this cold, cold world. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, hey, yeah. Nothing can break me down. Nothing can break me down. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, yeah.
So good.
That's dedicated to my son Kingsley.
Woo, so good.
Loves you.
Guess who's in the house? Guess who's in the house?
I grade.
Hey, in the house. How are you?
Simple, big up, big up.
So
The We Dream
honored,
family.
So honored. Great to see you. That was so good. Thank you. You know what? Again, when I hear Petra singing, when I hear these words, when I hear the vibe, when I hear, it just makes me feel so much better. I feel like whatever was weighing on me 10 minutes earlier, it's just lifted. What do you guys think? Don't you
Yeah.
feel so good?
I feel amazing. You know, we talk a lot about mindset, and we talk a lot about what goes in, what we listen to, what we're constantly listening to. And that's one thing I've been like, I'm a huge music fan. At one point I owned 800 CDs. Like I listened to everything from like opera to
Right.
reggae and everything in between, old school hip hop when it was the best. Anyways,
Yeah, I'm also.
I am gonna go on record and say this is it's probably the most hip hop thing I could ever say, but Chuck D from Public Enemy could eat alphabet soup and shit better lyrics than most rappers today.
Wow, because anything goes.
Yes.
Anything goes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
no tea, no
Oh
shame.
my
No,
god.
no.
none,
Tell us what you really
none.
think, man.
By the way, everybody wants you to dance
No.
in the comments.
You've been
Everyone's
dancing
saying
when I
it.
was singing.
I should have. No, it's okay.
Don't worry, we got music. Hit it, Joseph.
No, we still
Let's
gotta
do
get
it.
lots of stuff going. Maybe after.
No,
maybe
you gotta do it now.
Okay,
we're
maybe
in
at
the
end.
we're in the vibe.
We're in the vibe. Really?
I like this.
No one wants to see my butt. No, I'm serious.
So-
No.
Very nice.
Oh, come
Well,
on.
thank you, Petra. I really appreciate it. Women empowering women. This is what it is.
Always.
I love it.
One of the things I've really been paying attention with music, because I love music so much, is also lyrics nowadays.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's
Yes.
so many people out there who are listening to like nonsense lyrics just jammed into their brain on headphones all the time.
Yes,
When there
yes.
is empowering, good message, great vibes, like great music out there that's really got like
Yeah.
it's saying something, right?
Yes,
like
yeah.
you know,
I gotta tell you, like I'm listening to Petra sing and I'm listening to the music. I'm hearing the words. just very deep, very soulful. It really speaks to just, I felt so good, like the emotion. And that's why I always say about singing and music and dancing, nothing bad's ever going to come out of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just good for the soul. I want to get to the comments because there's so many amazing people that are on the Aya Grade says, lovely show. Thank you, Aya, as he's
Big
in the
up Aya
house tonight.
Grade.
Absolutely. Lorena's watching. Lorena, how are you? Thank you so much. She says, hi, ladies. James Leach says it's 2020 soon. Most people still don't realize how hard it truly is to find compatibility. They rush into a relationship and wonder why they don't know their partner a year down the road. That's very true.
Yeah.
James, you know, that's very true. Marka is watching. Marka is our dance friend. And listen, Julia and I want to do a shout out, well, to Marka and all of our dance friends, but we also want to do a shout out to Blue Suede Suze.
Mississauga's best kept secret.
They're celebrating their 30th
It
anniversary.
is. I've never heard of it.
Exactly.
It's in
No,
Mississauga.
No, I haven't. Yeah, it's
They're
good.
celebrating 30 years. Can you imagine 30 years? This
Yeah.
Saturday night, November 5th, the biggest party in the GTA. So
Amazing.
if you guys have nothing to do, or if you do, change your plans and come out to Blue Suede's. Julia and I will be there.
Come dance
so,
with us.
To go.
Yes, and dance ready to go. Absolutely. Marcus says, hi, everyone. Always a great show. Lucy says, the superhero that best describes me is Wonder Woman. Oh, yes. The old me, she describes herself as naive. The new me, she describes as self-lover, love of myself.
Yeah, I like that one.
I like that one. Lucy, thank you so much for sharing. And by the way, you are Wonder Woman. Okay, someone is actually calling me on WhatsApp. Or
Who's
no,
calling you?
Messenger.
Answer it.
Messenger.
Answer it. Hi, I'm in the middle
Hello?
of a show. Hello.
I'm on a live show. Hi.
Hi there.
How
We're
are you?
live. We'd love to talk to you too.
How's everything?
What's your favorite scary
Everything
movie? Oh God, that was
Name
loud.
a superhero-
So, I'm on a
use
live
one
show
word to
right
describe
now.
what you were before.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have to let you go, but I'll talk to you later, okay?
Actually, wait, hold on. Can you give me the phone?
Bye now.
Oh, I wanted to do something. I would have been like, "You are caller number 13." You
Tony
would've
just
tripped
called.
us
I
into
don't know
Canada,
Tony,
didn't
but he just
public.
called me live, so that was lovely. Okay, let's just go back to the show here. Doris says one more time. Yeah, she's loving the music. Lorena says best show of the night. Thank you, Lorena. You're lovely. Emilio Roman is watching. Hi, Emilio. How are you? Thank you so much. Doris says nice singing. Aziz
you,
says
Doris.
the old me would he describe as broken, and the new me smarter.
Okay, I like
Thank you,
that.
Aziz. Thank
Good
you so
comeback.
much. Daniela Roman is watching. Hi, Daniela. How are you? Emilio says, hello, Gordon Melville, my beloved co-author.
There you go.
Absolutely. Thank you for the shout out. Andrew says, some of the greatest heroes go untold or unheard of.
It's so true.
Andrew, I absolutely love that you said that. That is so true. We always talk about everyday heroes, everyday superheroes, people that are doing things when the cameras aren't rolling, when the phones and the computers aren't taking pictures and things like this. And so much kindness out there, and that we don't necessarily, know of, right? Andrew, thank you so much for the comment. Daniela says, hello, my friend and co-author, Gordon Melville. Feeling a lot of love. We've got Ronnie is watching. Hey, Ronnie, how are you? Ronnie and I, we are Facebook friends. I actually met him a couple of times inadvertently at the same event, and he posted something very, very profound today. I commented as an extension of that. We're actually going to have a call. We're talking about men's vulnerabilities, right? And I look at both of you guys. He was very open, very transparent, very vulnerable about his journey the last couple of years, about not only the journey of the entrepreneur, but his own journey as a person himself, right? And he was so transparent. It really spoke to me. I had to reach out, and I basically said, except for a couple of subtle differences in the story, he might as well have been talking about my story. So, and probably many others out there,
Absolutely.
So Ronnie, thank you so much for
Great guy.
being, open and very transparent, because again, maybe a few years ago, maybe he wouldn't have been, or others wouldn't
Absolutely,
have
he
been,
wouldn't
right?
have been.
So thank you for that. Frequency 5 FM says, nice look, Julia. And Ronnie says,
Thanks,
hey,
Frequency
Papa
5
Gordon
FM.
and Morales Scalise. Thank you so much, Ronnie. Emilio says, awesome message. Ramsey says, Old me, McDonald's, the new me, salad.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Ramsey, thank you so much for sharing. Okay, I gotta say, I am a little bit biased, but those vanilla milkshakes that are so bad for
the
me.
chocolate one.
Every once in a while, I gotta go. Yeah, they're yummy. They're yummy.
yourself.
Ronnie says, how do you become comfortable with being more vulnerable with others when one may have a fear of criticism and exposing themselves?
You get new people.
Absolutely.
You get new people.
You get in front of new people. If the people in your life, and I've said this many times in many talks, if the people in your life do not want you to be the best version of yourself, tell them to fuck off.
And you heard it here
that.
first, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
The other thing that works.
What's the sound effect?
Yes. Yes. You know what? Sorry, I just was distracted for a minute, but thank you so much. You know what?
Yes,
That
yes.
is, I couldn't have said it more eloquently, and that's absolutely true, right? Ronnie and others, at the end of the day, like when I kind of reemerged myself, and I knew I had a lot to share, but the only way I know how to be on social media is by being real, the overused word of authentic and vulnerable, I guess. I don't know how to be any other way, right? And it's not just maybe because I'm a woman, maybe it's just I'm me, whatever, but I find it so refreshing when men can be so honest and truthful about what they're going through. Because you know why? I'll reach out and say, how are you doing? If everything seems to be roses and, rainbows, you wouldn't even know to reach out because you think everyone's good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
It's the other piece I would add to that. You're right. You're finding your own tribe, right? If they don't connect with you, they're not part of your tribe. Just move on, right? Thank you
Right.
for sharing,
Right.
and move on.
Right.
I don't take it personally. The other thing I find that works exceptionally well is to have a definite major purpose. So something that if this is the goal and I have to get there,
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody else's opinion, right? We talked about that earlier. Taken, the movie Taken.
Yes.
They take his daughter. Does anything stop him in that movie from getting his daughter back?
Not one thing.
Not nothing.
Nothing.
Not the law. He kills people. He hurts people. It doesn't matter
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
is. Lawful,
yeah.
unlawful. I don't care. I'm
Yeah.
getting my daughter back.
Yeah.
Until your definite major purpose is that strong, other things will push you. As soon as you're that definite in where you will go, have to go, the other stuff doesn't matter anymore. And
Right.
he's right. All your
Right.
people that resonate with that will attract to you, and the people that don't will fall away, and that's okay. You just have to be all right with that.
And one of the many reasons that people maybe don't show themselves on social media or get out there and show themselves is because they're afraid of being judged or fear of being criticized. And I'm with you guys, right? I say, you know what? If people are going to criticize, are they really our kind of people? I love people. I'm caring in nature, but there is no room for that. Everyone wants to feel supported and loved, and that they have some, a purpose, but there's no room for like that negative side to things, right? I want to get to Petra. Just really give me 1 second. Everybody's got such fantastic comments, so I want to get to it. Aya says, happy birthday, Petra. I think
Yes.
this is, well, we want to bring Aya in, but not just yet, because I want us to all sing happy birthday to Petra. So
thank you.
that's kind of a cue, because I know he's in the studio, but yes, of course, it's your special day.
And I guess it's with all you guys. I was so looking forward to this day.
Oh, so good. Andrew
happy.
says, forget the old stigma. We are much more
Thank you. I
capable
love
of
that
sharing
you guys
our
are speaking
emotions.
about. It's so empowering.
That's very true, right? Andrew says that. Christine Grauer says, first, be comfortable with being vulnerable with yourself, being emotionally honest, and accepting feelings as they arise. Yeah, I agree with that. Christine says, same. I couldn't find the link for a while. Okay, Christine, so we've got I think the link to the show maybe. And then there's tickets. We got tickets to give away for October 11th.
Yes, we do.
Oh,
got
yes, we
2
do.
tickets for next week.
Okay, how are we
If you
giving
guys
them away?
want them, get Morella to stand up and dance for us.
Oh, okay.
Right, Mom?
Yes, the artists are here. It's a couple of
Dance.
What? Why am I'm not winning
That's
these
the
tickets?
giveaway.
We're going.
They have to say Morella dance, and then you got to get up.
Okay, let's do this till the end then.
You can make
okay,
her
let's do
get
this to
up.
the end then, okay? So October 11th, Fusion Lounge, 2 tickets to be given away. Janice is watching. Hi, lovely Janice. How are you? We've got, Janice says, God bless him for his courage to share his story. Absolutely. I agree. Ryan says, Oh, okay. Hold on a sec. Many men need to understand that when they humble themselves and show vulnerability, it reveals a great strength of being, because vulnerability enables you to become stronger and tougher mentally. However, when men put on a hard exterior, it puts them at risk of becoming mentally and emotionally brittle during tough times. Think of a reed which is small and vulnerable, yet it can withstand the wind and rushing currents. Meanwhile, an oak tree, though hard and strong, it can be uprooted by strong winds and broken. So very true. Ryan, thank you so much. Wendy is watching. Thank you. Joe Jackson, up and running. He says, thank you so much for tuning in. Lucy says,
Big up Commander Joe.
absolutely. Lucy says, I love that analogy of the frogs in the bucket. Wow. It's
Yeah,
so
that was
true,
really good.
right? Christine says, beautiful, Ryan, and so true. I think more men are catching on. So, like, group hug, there's a ton of, like, comments. Thank
Someone
you guys
say
so
group
much.
hug.
Group hug. Do we do a
Yeah.
group hug?
Loving it.
Yay. Okay. So on this note,
Cue the
and-
Friends theme song.
I'll be
There
there
for
for
you.
you when the rain
there
starts
for
to
you
fall.
too.
I'll be there for you.
I'm listening
So
to all
no
of
one
you.
told you life was gonna be this way.
Yes, that's so good. So good. Okay, so
Wow.
guys, in the interest of time, I just want to first of all, we talk about all kinds of things on here. Petra, you've got such a beautiful soul about you. You have such a beautiful voice. Talk to us about how you got into music and how does it make you? Oh, Julia, your favorite song.
This is my lipstick song.
I like
Happy
it.
birthday.
All right, Joseph.
This is Happy Birthday by Ed
Happy
best.
birthday to you. Go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday,
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday
Hands up.
Wow. Hey, look who's here. Oh, wow. Okay.
Did we get to the
I'm
back?
actually gonna
How are we gonna do this?
Oh, wow.
Hold on.
Okay, I have to make a wish.
Oh,
We can share.
where's the? Oh,
I have to make a wish. But I can't really say, can I? Or is it-
cumpleaños
please stay tuned while we get all these people in town.
cumpleaños feliz.
Happy birthday to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing it. Leave a band.
Happy
birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. I feel honored. I know. I love it. Chocolate my favorite.
Okay, we are gonna make
Ya
some.
queremos pastel,
People are wondering what happened to our faces.
queremos pastel, aunque sea un pedacito, pero queremos pastel. Ya queremos pastel, ya queremos pastel.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
You did not expect this.
No, I didn't. I feel honored. Wow. Yeah, I can't stop smiling. My cheeks hurt now.
Yes.
Okay. Chocolate my favorite.
Okay,
My
so
favorite.
Petra, now we got the whole room. We got everybody here.
It's a little warm in here.
guys.
I'm just
I
joking.
feel the love. I'm feeling the love.
So tell us in your own words, how are you feeling right now?
off
I feel like ecstatic. I'm just so happy right now. I just definitely love the energy. I'm definitely gonna be back.
Are
Anything
you?
goes.
Oh,
Yes,
good. I'm
girl.
so happy.
Bribery works.
That is like a white sort of macadamia
Where's
kind
the-
of like
Where's the
chocolate
white?
layer.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say white
something or
macadamia.
other.
It's
I
so
think
good.
it's like double fudge.
But there's
fudge.
some stuff inside there too. I don't know.
It's
Like,
so good.
It's a
I know. I
surprise.
feel like I have to share with you guys.
Feel free to
no.
eat as you know.
Eat the whole thing
Yeah,
and welcome
not
to
feel
diabetes.
guilty.
Yeah.
And not feel guilty.
Okay.
I'll
Don't hold
some
it against
insulin
me.
right
I'm
I
not
did
gonna.
not know we were having a full house. This is fantastic because anything goes, right? Let's do it.
I feel like I'm going through menopause.
Yep. If you're in the area,
We have
drop
some
by.
fantastic,
There's cool air.
Prince
If you've
Simbu-
ever been on the show and you're within 20-minute drive, just come on down.
Prince Simbu from Africa is in the house here.
Yes.
Can you
Hello.
introduce because
Oh
I
my
don't know
gosh,
if anyone
it's so
can hear me.
good.
I'm speaking loud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, ladies and
okay, good.
ladies and
That's awesome.
well, can you, what? What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Presenting Prince. Wait, how do you pronounce it? Zimbu or
Prince Zimbu.
Zimbu?
So
Prince
Aziz
Zimbu.
is dancing.
Just double checking. You didn't want to get anything, Miss
We
Arena.
got a lot of people so
Yeah, man.
happy. Kanisha says fabulous. Jimmy says great voice.
Big up Kanisha.
Jackson
She's outside.
says Petra, grand big artist. We
Big
got
up Commander
congratulations
Joe.
from Doris. We got like so many emojis. Christine saying awesome. Leah is watching. Hey Leah, how are you? Carolyn says hello everyone.
Hey.
Like it's fabulous. Like just like, look at all this fantastic love. So Petra, not to put you on the spot, but
Oh,
we
with
did
cake in my
wanna-
mouth.
I had asked Petra earlier what got her into music, and how do you feel about your journey?
Well, what got me into music is the impact that music has on people. Because music has the power to express every single emotion, you know? So I realized earlier on, just when I did perform, that how it did move people. And I love to make people happy through the music. So that's one of the things that drew me to it, the power of what it can do for others.
That is
You know?
amazing. That is so good. Thank you, Joseph. It's okay. We got.
I'm
Joseph.
sorry. Like, oh my god.
Yay, Joseph's in the house.
It's
We
like-
got the
Hi.
whole team here. No, I'm good.
Do we have a separate mic?
No, come on. You come in the picture too. Come on, everybody.
Joseph.
Anything goes.
I'm just leaning on Gord over here. I hope Gordon doesn't mind.
If you've ever been on Anything Goes and you're within 20 minutes, come on down.
Yeah, exactly. There's still
Come on
time.
down.
Right, Keelan Wilson, North York, why not? Aziz says, go Marilla. Angie is watching. We've got, so much love here, you guys. Oh, Heather Linus Lindsay's watching. How are you? Is it Heather going to be at the event next Friday?
Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so I get to meet her in person. That's awesome. Hope you guys can hear me okay. Angie says, can't wait to join you on the show someday. Angie, get in touch with me. I think we've been kind of talking on Messenger. James says, my bling bling is all silver. Been wearing my Superman emblem on my right
Where
hand
the
middle
hell is she
finger for
seeing that?
30
Oh,
years
here.
now. Awesome.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
James
You know what I
Leach,
love about-
excellent.
You know what I love about what Mike said earlier? Aside from the fact that you are unapologetic in your truth, okay? When we talk about, the spirit of how community and music and love for one another brings us together. And that's usually the way that it is. But a lot of people do feel as well that sometimes they're feeling like they are being judged and they are being criticized. And I like what you said. I just want to recap it. He said, if your current tribe's not doing it for you, get a new tribe. Well, I'm
Yep.
paraphrasing,
Simple.
but you kind of said it like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That is
With
Yeah.
a few swear words.
Yeah.
Well, there's loosely
Loosely
translate. Yes,
With a few swear words.
yeah.
Listen, I'm doing my best. I don't
swear
have a
words
chair
You're
right
doing
now.
awesome. Do you want my chair?
No. Do you want
Do you want my? Someone want my
No,
chair?
because apparently I'm supposed to dance. Otherwise, we can't.
Yes.
do
Oh
business
yeah,
this
we
way.
gotta. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
What song should we play?
All
for?
aboard the Soul Train.
Oh my God. Something danceable.
Don Cornelius.
Okay. Oh, everyone's saying dance, baby,
Peace.
dance.
That's
Oh
so-
my goodness. Okay.
Perfect dancing music.
Ready? Is anybody
Oh,
gonna
you had
join
me.
me?
It's your turn.
That is my
Another one bites the dust by Queen. You got.
Dancing, dancing.
And to the
I need some-
rescue
I
by
need some-
Prince
Would be
Zimbu.
this song.
You got any De La Soul back there? Or?
To the hip hop.
Yeah,
the hip-
yeah.
Oh
Well, I
yeah,
shall give
Sugar
you
Hill
a
Gang.
Yeah.
You got a Sugar Hill Gang back there.
Hip hop.
Hey.
How are we giving these tickets?
Okay.
Wait, hold a minute, hold on.
What the hell is going
I shall
on?
begin.
What?
What is going on?
You know, yeah.
I agree. How are you doing,
We
my
turned
friend?
from everything, anything goes to anything went.
It's
It's gone. It's
It's a party.
Gone.
I'm blessed to get cake and a party for my birthday. day.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna walk out to sunlight. Joseph will be passed out on the couch.
Exactly.
Ah, yes. For this is actually the beat for my single, To the Rescue. It is the Queen sample. I shall sing it by example. Begin it from beginning again.
Okay.
Okay, well.
Exclusive
Yes. Preview.
Yeah,
of
everybody
October
feeling
11th.
good. Petra, happy birthday to you. Many more I wish you could. Everybody say,
Hey.
It's Zimbu to save the day. Everybody say, I want all your hips to sway. All the women say, From me, take no holiday. All the brethren say, You listen to what Zimbo say. Listen, practice safe sex. Don't exceed the sex limit. Zimbo don't drink water cause fish have sex in it. You wonder why the sea so salty. The octopus is getting naughty. Zimbo don't dance, but Zimbo wife dance for you. They say love out of marriage, that is sin. Use your condom before your love dance begin. I am serious, don't watch the grin. Everybody say It's Zimbo to save the day. Everybody say I want all your hips to sway. All the women say From me, take no holiday. All the brethren say You listen to what Zimbo say. Girls, burning spear, that style repetitive. Feed a cow a beef patty, tell him eat your relative. Those are two random thoughts, but don't let random man touch your parts. Woman, be aware and take care of a JJ today. Do not stray man to man and give a JJ away. Find a good one and stay, and do not let it stray. Mustn't change hand to hand like a JJ relay. Reach back into yourself. You are more than an object for sex on a shelf. Since Rihanna cover her forehead, her career has to off. Cover up girls, you better off. Rihanna sexy, It's Zimbo to save the day. Everybody say I want all your hips to sway. All the women say From me, take no holiday. All the brethren say You listen to what Zimbo say. Zimbo grinning always as usual. You think this straight, you should see me at funeral. But I'm not laughing at the loss of life. The grin is good to break the strife. I save you from sadness and all depression. I save you from anger and all aggression. I saved you and Rasta from bacon sandwich. And I saved George Bush from the English language. I saved Bobby from Whitney. And there would be no more madness if Zimbo was with she. Zimbo put smile on face, it's true. So check God if I can save you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything goes. We weren't even sure we were getting. I did promise unexpected guests, return guests, special guests, musical guests. We never know what's gonna happen on Anything Goes. You guys have been awesome.
Tonight's a special episode, 2 hours long.
I have to tell you guys. First of all, I want to say thank you to Maria and Joseph at Frequency 5 FM for giving us extra time tonight.
So we
do
can keep
appreciate
going. He went
it.
like this. Keep
Oh
going.
no, I know, because Joseph is having the time of his life back there. He's putting on the tunes.
That is
I
good.
want to get back to first of all, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much, you guys, for being in the studio. Thank you guys, all of you, for watching, for all the love, for all the support. I know I haven't gotten to all the comments. I'm still blushing from that wonderful rendition of that song that we were.
To the rescue.
Yeah, it's really great. And
You
Mike,
say
I think
it
people
so,
are
like,
actually,
smooth.
coming into the studio as we speak because you announced that they should if they were like 20 minutes away. I hear people.
Yeah, just come on down. It's Anything Goes.
I'm
Let me
outside.
tell you something. The coffee that Joseph made me at the front door, we
It's
can
not
do this
coffee.
show for 24 hours.
It's not coffee.
It's ready.
Oh my! Whoa! Anything goes, including the
I
desk.
have a question. Okay, sorry. So, we have so many comments here. I've completely lost track. I danced. I don't know if anybody saw my moves behind Gordon, but I danced. So, are we giving this tickets away for the for the bash?
You mentioned it. You want to say it? Come on. Come here. Take the mic.
Don't be
Okay.
shy.
Anything goes.
Well, if anyone out there could name one of the titles of a Petra song, we will give the tickets away for the event.
And you guys want to be at this event. So many artists, so much good music, so many good vibes. Live bands, right?
This thing on.
Oh,
Musical talent.
Maximum respect.
Prince, We got Petra. We got Aya. Are you kidding?
Yeah, big up
Yeah, yeah.
Clean Music Productions as
Oh,
well.
we
I
got-
Grade Media Productions.
Empress
We got
Nas.
cheers from
Amazing vibe she has.
Argentina.
Oh,
Divine.
Father
wow.
Price.
Our dreams.
So
Thank
many.
you so much. I keep touching your shoulder. I hope that's okay. I just want to be sure.
It's on
That's
film. It's all good.
It's all good. Yeah, exactly. It's more like I'm just leaning here, you know. Okay, so guys, here we go. You have just come into the final thoughts segment of the evening. Are you not happy about this? Yes, I am. Okay.
I gotta say, if you ever shoot a video for that song,
You're
you
in.
gotta just have this like 90-year-old guy going, huh?
Yeah, that's the video.
That is right. Excellent.
Oh, guys. Okay, sorry. I have to say this. Hold on one second. I've lost track of the comments, but Lucy says to Heather, "You should have let your brother sing this song at your wedding. Why? Another one bites the dust."
My goodness.
Oh my god. Oh, Heather says, because it ended in divorce 3 years later.
Oh.
Oh.
Right then. Okay. Wow, this is fantastic. All right.
TMI.
Anything goes.
Anything goes.
That is hilarious.
All right, let's do final thoughts. Okay, Julia, over there, my co-host, enjoying this segment immensely. What's your final thought for the show? Because come on, there was like, where do we
Stay
start?
hydrated.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Also, is my final thought.
Heh.
That's my final thought.
Yeah. Okay.
Another
Aya,
10. What was the
our
other one?
dropping guest. Well, you're right there, so we're gonna get to you. What's your final thought? I'm gonna give Mike and Gord some time to think about theirs.
Okay. Lovely show today. Thank you for having us. We really appreciate the discussion. It was very interesting, and I think more men out there, we need to connect and support each other. Final thoughts.
Awesome. Yes. Round of applause.
Right, there we
Round
go.
of applause. So good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You gonna sing too, Mom?
No. No.
Another Tinder date gone wrong. And another one gone, and another one gone. Another Tinder date wrong.
You guys keep back together.
Has anybody, has anybody heard what Tinder's...
And then you take the Tinder picture and
Has
say,
anybody
hey,
heard what
this
Tinder's
doesn't
doing
look
this
like
weekend?
you. Another Tinder date. Go
What
right.
is Tinder doing this weekend?
Another catfish
Tinder's
gone wrong.
Tinder's doing this thing on Sunday. I heard about it on the radio yesterday.
Big up
Tinder's
Kit
doing
Kat.
a thing on Sunday where they're going to put you in a scenario on your Tinder where it's the end of the world for whatever reason, and you swipe left or right on supplies and how you would survive and all that stuff, and then the next day they send you matches.
Oh, that's different.
Matches as in men?
Well, matches is in whatever you would look for on Tinder already is to date whoever you'd be looking like.
That's not going to help.
Yeah.
So the only the ones that survived the apocalypse.
I don't know, like I just found it interesting.
Very interesting.
I have a bunch of people in my life who, if the world was ending, I don't think they would be very helpful.
If the world was ending, I don't know if I'd be on Tinder. I
They'd
gotta
be trying to get a selfie
maybe
with the mushroom cloud in the back.
I'm
It's
melting.
really happening.
final thought about being on the show and all that's transpired this evening.
Oh my gosh, this was amazing. This was epically more fun than even I thought it would be. The music was incredible. The hosts are amazing.
Thank you.
Joseph is incredible.
Yes, Joseph.
Yeah. Yep. And my final thoughts, as far as anything goes, as always, is just that if you're listening and you think you can't do something, or that you're not capable, or you're not worthy, or whatever, it's all bullshit. You have this incredible amount of superhuman potential inside you. Get after it, get to it, and unleash that potential within you. And as always, stay super.
Awesome.
Hey.
Love it.
Nice. Well said.
Final thought.
Thank you to you all. This has been awesome. It's been a lot of fun. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
As far as a final thought, you know what? It's we are in our lives. We all are where we choose to be. Where we are in our life right now is the culmination of all the choices we've made, good or bad or otherwise. So if you don't like where you are, make better choices and choose where you want to be. To say if you think you can or you can't, you're probably right.
Right.
So if you want it, go after it. There's nothing to stop. You can be anything you want. You can make your life anything you want. Your empowerment, both for men and for women, that if it's something that you truly desire and it's a passion and it's in line with your purpose, you can do anything you want. You can have anything you want. We said this on Saturday, we're not human doings. We get stuck with thinking about the things we need to do. We're not human doings. We're human beings.
Yes.
So be,
I love
don't
that.
just do.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah.
So good. Lovely, lovely.
Thank you. So yeah, it's definitely been an honor to be on Anything Goes. One of the best birthdays I've had so far. Built-in birthday party for sure. So I'm loving the vibes, and I really love the stories that you guys like spoke about and the experiences. So I'm definitely loving that. And then for my final thought is just to never just be broken and just to stay on top and stay on track in regards to whatever it is that you're focusing on, whatever your passions, whatever your purpose is, and that life's going to throw all kind of things at you. But no matter what, you just stay strong and stay focused and know you will overcome.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And Chris, if you have a final thought with no sexual reference, I'll take it. Go right ahead.
Please actually make it such. Come on. What is this?
I'm just saying,
Anything goes, not anything
Yeah.
rated G.
Okay, I know.
Anything but that goes. All right.
Yeah.
What's your
Well,
final thought? You dropped in. What are you feeling about the vibe?
well, what can I say? It was an excellent verbal display from everyone who I observed when I was watching them on the screen outside. And it is excellent that you have stated that anyone who has these feelings, they should not hide. They should be free to express themselves and know that, okay, now that I have put it on display, I can know and learn how to handle it in the appropriate way. And also, if you believe you can achieve,
Absolutely.
and they say, what, faith without deed is like rolling paper with no wheat, but hey, you need to, you have to think,
Yeah.
and then you visualize, and then you execute, and you will achieve your pursuit. Yes.
We didn't hear your final thoughts. Oh, is this an awkward time to ask where we can get Petra's music?
No, not at all. Petra, where can everybody get your music? Because Petra's going to actually end the segment tonight with a song. I want to do my final thoughts, but in the meantime, how can everyone find your music and you?
Okay, perfect. Well, definitely check out my website, www.petramusic.com. That's PETRAA music.com. You can also download me on iTunes, Spotify, all digital download platforms. And I have a single out right now called Never Broken. So definitely check that song out right now as well. And also I have a song out with Ras Morgan as well. Big up to him, called Show Me Your Love. So
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
awesome.
That is good.
And Petra, we actually haven't asked you to do a couple songs at mine and Julia's event, but we will.
I would love
We'll
to.
talk soon. It is, so I'll mention it in my final thoughts, but we'll talk after. So guys, my final thoughts is this. First of all, and I'm doing all of this off the top of my head. First of all, Frequency 5FM, thank you so much for all that you do for us and for giving us extra time. Thank you guys, the viewers. Without you, this platform is all about this, all the community, the people, the viewers, your thoughts. We will get to all your messages and comments after the show. We'll do a watch party tonight. We'll get to all the comments tomorrow. We'll do all the recaps. So thank you guys so much. We feel the love. Julia and I are so grateful and very appreciative. I want to mention a few events. So obviously we've got the Libra Bash next Friday at Fusion Lounge, October the 11th. Absolutely come out. 2 tickets to name one of Petra's songs, and I danced for a good minute and a half there, so I held up my end of the bargain. Also, I want to mention
We need
again,
more.
Blue Suede Suit's 30th anniversary party this Saturday night in Mississauga. Check it out. We've also got, I have to do a couple of mentions. My dear friend Leanne Babcock, she is going to be speaking on Saturday. There's an event downtown. Go on her page. I will put it in the thread as well. If you guys are around, go check that out. It's a wonderful all-day, empowerment workshop. Victoria Laureate Fabish, as you guys know, she's at Spoken Lives Toronto West Tuesday night, October 8th. Shout out to Shireen Arif as well, who is hosting and helping to put this together. I want to do an early birthday to my mom next Wednesday, October 9th. It's going to be her birthday. She still looks fabulous. She doesn't look her age. I won't even say it.
Oh, here we go.
To the Libras.
Yes, exactly. I also want to mention Tracy Acadia Thomas's Kings event, Inspirational Kings event on November the 2nd as well.
And Aya's birthday's coming up too.
You're nominated. Aya was nominated by a special someone. I just want to say, Aya's birthday is coming up. Like, there's so much going on, right?
Yeah.
Stay tuned for Anything Goes Halloween special on October 31st. You do not want to miss it. Also, we've got our.
Can I get a hand?
I guess. December 5th,
Because the song's
Anything
gonna be in my
Goes
head.
is launching the very first, only the beginning event, and Aya's going to be there to perform, and hopefully Petra, even though she just heard about it,
Yeah, I'll
but
put it in my calendar.
definitely want to, and we're going to have so many guests coming, so please, we have been trying to release the promos for this for a few days. We will get all the details out there, so come out and have a great evening. My final thought is basically just in the context of what we've been discussing tonight, and I say this every week, be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other, show love, more love, less hate, embrace, hug. Life is too short, and if you're going through something and you feel that you can't talk about it, you can. If you feel like there's nowhere to go, there's lots of places to go. Put yourself out there, be true to yourselves, and live your best life because you guys deserve it. So I want to thank all of our guests tonight, the scheduled guests, the impromptu guests. Thank you so much. We are back next Thursday night. Our fall series continues. Thank you so much. And we are going to end the segment with one of Petra's beautiful songs. Another one bites the dust. Again.
For sure.
Okay.
That, can we get a hand?
All right, then.
That's amazing. I
You weren't
love that.
expecting this
That
for your
was so.
birthday.
Oh
No,
my
I
God.
wasn't. I'm loving the vibe. I'm loving it.
I'm sorry.
I agree, Crashing. I don't mind.
That's okay.
I don't mind.
Anything goes.
Oh stronger and stronger. This pain, it does beside, baby. I love you, I'm telling you, baby. I sing, I don't care if you don't love me like I do, babe. These feelings I have for you, baby. Oh, hey, yeah. I don't care if you don't love me like I do, babe. These feelings I have for true. Oh, yeah,
You guys come out, we do it.
That is true.
Okay.
Also, we have a winner.
Who's the winner? Okay.
Kanisha Sterling is
Come
our
on down.
Perfect.
winner chicken dinner.
That is good.
Yes.
Ooh, woo, 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 yay. Love it. Whoa, woo, woo, yay.
This song is dedicated to all those people out there that don't think they can achieve anything. No matter what happens to you in life, you can overcome, never be broken. Yes.
Nothing can break me down. It all builds you up. It gives you strength to succeed in this cold, cold world. Nothing can break you down. It all builds you up. It gives you strength to succeed in this cold, cold world. Wake up in the morning, things seem so hard. Me and my child, days in this world. How could this happen? The life is so cold. No further beside him, too cold for his own. Mommy and daddy, I have to be bold. He left us here to be on our own. Abusing and using, can't take it no more. Knowing you're strong enough to be alone. God has a plan for us, just as I know. Holding the faith, have to be strong. Gave me this blessing to call for my own. I won't let him down. Nothing can break me down. It only builds me up. It gives me strength to succeed in this cold, cold world. Nothing can break me down. It only builds me up. It gives me strength to succeed in this cold, cold world. Bad things will happen, they will help us grow. Sometimes we have to just go with the flow. Good things will happen if you take it slow. Life is a mystery, watch for the glow. Life is a test just to see if you'll succeed. Have to provide for me and my seed. Destiny's calling me, won't let him down. They won't take my crown. Nothing can break me down. It only builds me up. It gives me strength to succeed in this cold, cold world. Nothing can break me down. It only builds me up. It gives me strength to succeed in this cold, cold world.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's go, girls.
Yeah. Have
Bye,
some
Good
respect.
night, everybody.
Remember, come out on the 11th.
If Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat are listening, if you could develop some sort of thing